There's a 5 square mile stretch of land in Kansas City right now where over $5 billion in development is happening. The Chiefs are building a domed stadium there. The American Royal is moving there, a Mattel theme park is being built there, and most people moving to Kansas City have never even heard of it. But that's the payoff. Here's what we're covering to get there. Why living in Kansas City right now might be the rarest housing opportunity this city has seen in 20 years. The structural reason this place stayed affordable while every other major metro priced people out. One big thing I think Kansas City, Missouri is getting wrong about all of this, and I'm saying that as someone born and raised in Kansas City, Missouri. Plus, at the end, exactly where that $5 billion is going and where I'm seriously considering putting some of my own money. I'm Joe Nelson, KC Realtor and lifelong Missouri native. Let's get into it. Here's something that almost never happens in a growing city. The city gets meaningfully better. New investment, new jobs, a real urban revival, and housing stays affordable while it's happening. That's not how growth usually works. Usually the investment shows up, the city levels up, and then prices follow. By the time most people realize what's happening, they've already missed the window. Look at Denver. The median home price has roughly tripled since 2011. People who bought early made a lot of money. People who showed up later got priced out. That window closed a long time ago. Austin's the same story. So is Nashville. So are parts of the Carolinas. Cities that were the next big thing 5 or 10 years ago, and now they're as expensive as the coasts. Kansas City isn't there yet. And I'm not going to give you secondhand numbers on this. I pulled this myself. I went into the MLS just last week and looked at every single residential home that sold in Kansas City over the last 6 months. November of 2025 through today. That's 3,860 transactions. The median sales price, $270,000. The median home sold in 22 days. That's real data pulled just this week from the city of Kansas City itself. Now, the suburbs run higher, Olathe, Overland Park, Lee Summit, but even those are nothing close to what you'd pay in Denver or Austin or Seattle for the same house. Living in Kansas City is still a real financial possibility for people who'd be priced out elsewhere. That window's open right now. The real question is, how long does it stay open? Here's the part most relocation videos skip. The reason Kansas City stayed affordable isn't because the city was underperforming, it's structural. Go back 100 years, and Kansas City was one of the densest, most active urban cores in the country. We had one of the largest streetcar networks in America, hundreds of miles of track. People lived close together. The neighborhoods functioned the way healthy city cores were supposed to function. Then two things changed everything. The highways came in, and Kansas City started annexing land. A lot of it. The city grew from about 60 square miles to 314 square miles, more than 5 times larger. But the population didn't grow to fill it. So you end up with a city that's geographically enormous but spread thin. That's where the sprawl came from. And the sprawl is exactly what kept prices suppressed for decades. Demand got dispersed across hundreds of square miles instead of concentrated in a small core. Now reinvestment is concentrating back. The original 60 square miles of historic neighborhoods, walkable blocks, and real architecture that newer cities would pay anything to replicate, that's where the money's flowing right now. The affordability that came from spreading out is finally meeting the reinvestment that comes from doubling down. That's why this moment is so different. And it's not theoretical. Here's what's actually happening right now with names attached. The Royals announced their new stadium location on April 22nd of this year. A $1.9 billion ballpark at Crown Center, acring 85 acres, $3 billion mixed-use development with Hallmark Cards, the largest private investment in Kansas City history. Construction breaks ground next year, open hopefully for the 2030 season. The KC Streetcar has been running in downtown for 10 years now, but the system just completed its riverfront extension, and that changes the whole shape of the urban core. You can now ride a single streetcar, 6.5 miles, from UMKC all the way north through downtown and to the riverfront into the Berkeley Riverfront area where the new KC Current Stadium sits. That's a fully connected transit spine the city has never had before. And streetcar investment historically draws development. Kansas City is in a position to see that play out in real time. The Country Club Plaza, an iconic Kansas City landmark for over 100 years, is in the middle of a $1.5 billion redevelopment. 750 new residential units, close to 300 hotel rooms, a new Kansas City Symphony venue planned for 2028. The Berkeley Riverfront is in the middle of a transformation worth over $1 billion. More than 2 million square feet of new construction is planned. 6 World Cup matches are coming to Arrowhead in just a month. And the Panasonic EV plant in DeSoto is a $4 billion project, the largest in Kansas state history, bringing roughly 4,000 direct jobs and a long ripple effect that hasn't even kicked in yet. If any of this is making you think you should take a closer look at Kansas City, send me an email or give me a call. We're putting the pieces together for buyers every day, and we'd rather have a conversation than have you guess. None of this matters, though, if there aren't jobs to support it. The jobs are here. Healthcare is the largest employment sector in the metro. Over 100,000 jobs across systems like Children's Mercy, KU Health System, St. Luke's, and Advent Health. Healthcare alone keeps bringing people in. Residents who train at KU Med do the math and stay. Physicians from coastal markets come here, see what they can buy on a doctor's salary, and never leave. On the corporate side, Garmin's world headquarters is in Olathe. Burns & McDonnell, one of the largest engineering firms on the planet, is based right here. The Panasonic plant in DeSoto is ramping toward full production in the late 2020s. Since 2020, the KC Metro has added over 75,000 new residents. That's not a one-year fluke. That's been happening year after year, consistently. People keep choosing this place. And the #1 source of inbound relocation right now is Texas. People are leaving Austin, Dallas, and Houston, cities that already went through the growth and price out cycle. They're landing here because the math still works. Living in Kansas City right now means you can actually afford to do it. Now, here's the part most agents in this market are probably not going to say, and I'm going to say it because it matters. I think Kansas City, Missouri is getting some of this wrong. And I say that as someone born and raised on the Missouri side, and I'll be interested to see what all the comments have to say about this. The Missouri side of Kansas City has more history, more density, more architecture, more population. It's the actual city in the metro. And right now, Missouri is letting major economic anchors walk across the state line to Kansas. The Chiefs are moving to Wyandotte County. The American Royal is leaving the West Bottoms after 124 years and relocating to Kansas. Olathe is getting the Chiefs headquarters and training facility. That's real economic power shifting across the state line, and it adds up. Look, the Royals, I think, made the right move by saying, I'm partial to Missouri. But Crown Center is going to be transformational for Missouri. That much is good. And I don't blame the Chiefs or the American Royal for following the Star bond money. Everybody has different opinions on that. But Kansas put together a $2.4 billion incentive package. That's hard to walk away from. But the long-term question is whether Kansas City, Missouri made a mistake by not fighting harder to keep those things here. I think there's going to be a reckoning on that, and it might not show up for a decade or two, but it's going to show up. The downtown hub of a metro doesn't normally lose 3 out of 4 major attractions to another state without paying a price for it eventually. I love this city. I want it to win, and right now I'm watching it lose ground on a fight it should have been better positioned for. If you live on the Missouri side and you're thinking about long-term real estate decisions, this is a conversation worth having. Send me an email or give me a call, let's chat. All right, here's the payoff to what I teased at in the start. The 5 square mile stretch where over $5 billion in development is going into the ground. It's the Village West area of western Wyandotte County, Kansas, centered around the Kansas Speedway. Inside that footprint, the Chiefs are going to be building their new 65,000-seat domed stadium. The American Royal is building a $375 million campus a few blocks away, and literally across the street from the Chiefs site, the Mattel Adventure Park is going to be going up. Tanger Outlets just acquired the Legends Outlets in a $130 million deal. You know they're going to be doing some reinvestment there. The first Buc-ee's in the entire state of Kansas is going in right next to the Speedway. All of that on top of what's already there. The Speedway, Sporting KC, Hollywood Casino, Great Wolf Lodge, Margaritaville, all inside this cluster. Now, this is a story big enough to be its own video, so I'm going to do a full breakdown on this soon. The specific submarkets I'm watching, the timing, what this actually means for buyers and investors on the ground. If that's a video you want to see, subscribe and you'll catch it when it drops. Quick personal note before we wrap up. I currently live in Basehor, Kansas, roughly 10 minutes from the Chiefs Stadium site and 10 minutes from the American Royal. It's 10 minutes from where the Mattel site is going up. I'm watching this happen, literally from my own neighborhood. And here's the truth. I'm seriously considering keeping my Basehor home as a short-term rental when I move back to Missouri. I'll lay out the full thesis in an upcoming video, but here's the short version. I live, breathe, eat, and sleep Kansas City real estate. It's constantly on my mind. So when I start moving my own money on something I've been watching, that's a signal worth taking seriously. Real quick, for anyone who's stuck with me this far, I'm Joe Nelson. I grew up in Kansas City, Missouri, 21 years in the Air National Guard, all of it local. I'm a realtor and a licensed mortgage originator. I'm the team leader at Nelson Home Group, Keller Williams KC North, which is the highest rated real estate team on Google in the entire Kansas City metro. I live in Basehor right now for some short-term personal reasons, but I'm a Missouri lifer at my core, and I plan to be back across the state line within the next year. So when I tell you something is different about Kansas City right now, that's coming from someone who spent his entire life living in Kansas City. We make these videos because we genuinely want to work with you. Kansas or Missouri, it doesn't matter. We serve both sides of the state line, and that's the whole reason we do this. We work with people moving to Kansas City from out of state, sellers on both sides of the state line, veterans figuring out their VA loan options, and families just trying to figure out where to land. Whatever your situation, reach out. If you want to go deeper on relocating to Kansas City, we've got a full playlist linked below. And the full breakdown of the Western Wyandotte hub I mentioned is coming up. The cluster, the submarkets, the short-term rental thesis I'm working through myself. I'll link into the description when that video drops. We put together a free Kansas City relocation guide. It breaks down neighborhoods, costs, schools, and commute times in a way no algorithm is going to give it to you. It's the same information we walk new relocation clients through on day one. If you're considering living in Kansas City, head to our website and sign up, and we'll send it to you for free. No questions asked. Here's the thing, the market is moving, the window is open right now, and these windows do not last forever. Look at Austin. The sooner we talk, the more options you'll have. I'm Joe Nelson. Let's get to work.